always forget my mic. Welcome everyone. Chill Girl Chrissy here in Alderman in Ward 6. Welcome to the Chill and Heal show. We are going to fuel your mind, body, and soul with goodness. We're going to open up, share, be real, be raw, overcome, let go, and come together to simply live a happy life. And I'm really grateful and excited. And I'm here with another fellow concerned citizen, because I'm a concerned citizen too. And I think there are a lot of concerned citizens out there that are boots on the ground. And Michael Werner is a Marine. And I first heard about you, Michael, from my good friend, Senator Kevin Avard. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I watched your show, and then I saw another show where your dad was on, which I'd love to have you back on already, because this guy really, he cares. And can you share a little bit about who you are and your passion for just doing what you're doing and all that you're doing?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for having me. Well, this started really, we used to live in California, my family, and grew up in Southern California, Orange County, Los Angeles area. So we've, for the longest time, seen what we're seeing here now across the country, with the border, with kind of the progressive situation of kind of a crumbling infrastructure and housing prices and skyrocketing food and all that. But the point is we ended up moving out to New Hampshire. And it was a different way of life. It was great. It was beautiful. And that's obviously the world's changed since 5 years ago. And it seems that the flood that we escaped from California is now creeping up the hill towards where we live now. And so that kind of motivated me and my family to try to do something different than what we did in California, which we just left. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I get involved is I see that flood coming up, and I've been there because I've already, I've had to evacuate it once. So
yeah, and so now you clearly don't want to evacuate, and you're standing strong,
right?
And your boots on the ground. So what I loved about your interview was how you shared. You're like, I need to see it. I need to be a part of it, and I need to witness it. And that's the type of person I am. Yeah. So, and I went down to the border as well. I think it was in 2021. And I mean, that's another little, I'll share my experience down there. But so you just came over here 5 years ago. That's
I did,
about it.
Yeah.
Okay, your family came over here 5 years ago. And we all know what's happening to California, but do we really know what's happening to California? Does that make sense?
Unless you live there.
Yeah, unless you live there. So people are like, oh, hey, they're leaving California, but don't come here with your politics.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So
it's bad, yeah.
I mean, and I'm policies over politics. I'm humans over politics. To me, I'm an all-American girl, and that's what it seems like you are. You're an all-American guy.
Yes.
And can you? All right. So I get so excited, and it's like
okay.
I'm like grateful to be with someone who's taking action. So tell me a little bit more. Like when you came here, what did you start doing? Because you're a Marine.
Yeah, when I got here, I'm a builder by trade. So I started building kitchens and bathrooms and flooring and doing that's what I truly love.
Yeah.
And I'm a builder by nature. So to fast forward, as the coronavirus was released, or however you want to call it, we saw all these things kind of precipitate in a fashion that the downhill slope accelerated. And fast forwarding through all of the pandemic stuff, my older brother, he works for TRACA, and they do surveillance equipment, cameras, security, state troopers, like you name it, all that government kind of contracting. And he said, hey, let's go down to the southern border to see what we're doing. see what we can do. And a vehicle that he had from his company was used as a demonstration vehicle down there. And we ran into some reporters down there, and one in particular is named Anthony Aguero. And he works on the border. He's been on the border his whole life, and he reports strictly only on the border. And we tagged along with him because we had the gear and he had the knowledge. So we paired together, and he showed us what's really going on. And this was last year in August.
Okay.
So,
and so that's 2023, August.
Correct.
Can you share what you saw and experienced?
Sure, yeah. What we saw was behind the scenes at nighttime. Here, I'll give you a picture. So there's the border city and the towns, and there's...
And where were you? Which state?
In Texas, correct. Yeah, so we went all along the Texas border. And in one city, because we went to many, but I'll just give an example. There's aerostat blimps that the government has that they use, and they have cameras, and they're 1,000, 2,000 feet in the air. They can see everything. They don't go anywhere. They're 24 hours a day. And as you look over the border, you can see into Mexico, and you can see these groups of individuals that are coming across, to cross. And as that happens, they get indication from either a drone or from an aerostat blimp. And all of a sudden, you see Border Patrol line up with their vehicles and turn their lights on like a line, like you're waiting in line at night, and there's lights on the floor to guide you. And they're guided into an assembly area, 50, 60, 100, could be 500. It doesn't matter how many. And then they're processed. And that it's like an assembly line, it's like FedEx. They just, here you go, come in. And they have their reasons and policies, obviously we know. But the fact is that the human toll on that side of what's happening is tremendous. And that's why when I went down there, set aside why I went, when I saw the realities and the barbarism is a good way of a word for it. Because, you have, for instance, this. I brought this. I don't know if you could see it, but it looks like going to a nightclub. It's a band. And what the cartels do is you pay, if you're coming up through Mexico, whether you're a child, a family unit, an individual, you have to pay to get across. And you can see how small this is.
Yeah, that's really small.
Right, and it's not broken, and it came off of a child. And I have countless footage actually, of little children that, I'm not a doctor, I didn't test it, but they look like they were drugged. And these little babies, and their mom doesn't look like them. They're totally.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I saw that, and I realized, I was like, wow, this is a little bit. There's something more to it. And being there, that's my truth. That's what I saw. So that's what accelerated my interest in trying to figure out what's going on, because all the things around the world, I can't control. I'm not in the government, all that stuff. So the border is something I can look at, and it's a major issue because it's taking away something that I love, and it's my own personal future. I'm 36, and I look forward with my family, plant kids and all that stuff, and I go, well, what does it look like? What can I do? And my background kind of fills in the gap, because it's like when you grow up to and you have a family and you have a house and obligations as a man. You have to then say, well, what can I do to protect it? Yeah. And that's where I am here now, because normally I'd love to just build a bathroom.
Yeah. But now you're like boots on the ground and sharing the importance of we need to protect our neighborhoods, protect our homestead.
Right.
And second of all, we're not even helping us regular Americans. And so the people are coming across, they're being bussed up, and I actually know that to be true. Oh, yeah. And they're being bussed up, and who's paying for them?
Yeah,
the government?
If you look at it's all open source. You can go look any of this up. It's spreadsheet after spreadsheet, but essentially it's broken down into DHS, State Department, and funding that we give to the United Nations, and the Resettlement and Refugees Program. And essentially we have these contracts where they get sent out to NGO governments from our State Department, DHS, to provide the funding that's necessary for the FedEx assembly line of being able to get people up into the different cities, towns, streets, wherever you want to, wherever they go. And so that's what we're living through right now, and if there's no sign of it slowing down. So it's interesting how it's playing out, because the chaos that's brought by New York City or 26 barges the other week were magically unmoored from their moorings and floated down the Ohio River and damaged like 10 or 12 bridges. So you wonder how that happens.
What do we do? Ordinary people, what do we do? How can we stand up? How can we, we care about people.
Sure.
So what do we do? What are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
I ran for office because I believe, that the truth shall set us free. I believe that, oh my God, there's so many things. I believe in the truth. I think that we should be known, we should be shared everything. Do you know?
I agree.
I'm sorry, but what they did to us during COVID is unacceptable. And there needs to be accountability, and there's not. And I'm thinking about all the great people that are going out on vacation right now. They have to get on a plane or they drive somewhere. You need a license. Mm-hmm. You need a license to get on the plane. You need a license or you need a passport to go to another country. But right now, that's not the case through certain parts of our country, Canada as well.
No, yeah, well, for United States citizens. Right.
I'm like, how is this fair? And we're taxpayers, and who's making these decisions for us? It's like frustrating when, 39 Beach Street, homeless shelter. I have been asking for, since I got into office, do you check IDs? No, she could not answer my question. She said she was going to do a program where you help people get IDs. Last year, she has not done that. Now the woman is left Manchester. I don't know if you know anything much about Manchester and everything, but to me, it's just insanity when we expect things from certain people, and I'm like, but we don't expect certain things from other people? And how is that fair?
Yeah,
and it's very confusing because we should be helping those that are truly in need.
Well, I think that's part of the game that's being played, is that things are happening that are unfair to cause the division, because if you can divide a house, it will fall.
Yeah.
So, in terms of my advice, it's hard because everyone's so different, but at the same time, this is a battle between, the people's will versus the totalitarianism, because that's just the definition of when you dictate. You're overcoming individual will, and we're a representation of the government. So there's that fight between there. So what do? Whatever you think comes to mind when you think of how do I take my own will back, and that could be anything. And everyone's good at different things.
Yeah.
So, and I think that collectively, when the understanding is that my will is mine and I can go out and use it, that's when it turns. So, and I think that the media and how the world kind of batters you down and gets you to do the rat race and not think about it.
Oh, on the hamster wheel, it's like, stop with the insanity. I'm not going to watch the news that is misleading so much.
Of course. No, I know.
But it's like, all right, how do we stay up to date,
And so but coming full circle that's why I realize, because I follow the highlights of the news, because you can't get into the weeds,
right?
Because you go crazy.
Oh yeah, totally. We don't need crazy.
Yeah, but
we need passionate and strong, and let's get it done.
Well, that you can't at home. If you're at home and your wife says, "Hey, can you do 50 different projects?" but you do one each day, you're going to be running around with your head cut off.
Totally.
So you got to pick something that speaks to you, and then you go, well, what can I do to accomplish this? And then you just, like building a business, you just stick with it and you do what you got to do.
So can you share what you've been doing?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, to a certain extent.
I totally appreciate. Thank you.
Yeah, to a certain extent, our goal, which we have a small group that I'm representing at least, and that is, we're trying to figure out the American way is to build something or create something so that you can supply a fix to a problem, and so that's essentially what we're doing. But we're doing it because the fixes are our own future, So we're trying to
for our children, our grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
And how our elders are being pushed out from the high rents and
taxes.
Unacceptable.
Well, I mean,
and how are we spending how is the government spending our money? Like, come on.
Well,
I can't take it.
My parents are in retirement, and I saw them work their fingers to the bone.
And your dad's lawyer.
Lawyer, yeah, he's a retired lawyer.
Retired lawyer.
Yeah. And I don't like to see my parents in their retirement.
Yeah.
Having to worry, not necessarily struggle, but there's a struggle and a worry.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I don't blame you. I don't like it either. And you know what? Our parents there's so many of our parents that worked so hard, and they should not have to worry. And how are our elected officials? I mean, is elected officials how we're spending our money? It really, really matters. We need accountability, transparency, and we need to have the right people in office that are ready to make the tough decisions.
Yeah, and and honestly, the precipice of tough decisions is coming. I mean, it's been happening, but it's there's been a little bit of give and leeway. Now, obviously the way there's there's a fork in the road, and the tough decisions are really coming, and you get a little teaser video, like watching the preview to a movie of what's to come, and then you're kind of given that choice, and that's with the voters and the elected employees. Really, they're elected.
Yeah.
So that's in my opinion, but. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a way to, one, especially pertaining to New Hampshire and the northern border section, Swanton sector and Maine, is that there's this conjecture that this is happening, that's happening, and there's evidence mainly there is some serious problems going on. I have not seen any evidence that there's no problems going on. But the main point is that you can't measure and figure out, like how to do a floor unless you are up there with a tape measure figuring it out.
Right.
So that's essentially, in an analogy, what we're doing is we're trying to build a tape measure so that we can figure out exactly what's going on.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you're a do-it person, but to make things happen, you have to be in it.
Yep.
You have to see it, feel it, know it, have all the perspectives come in, and then you make an executive order on how you're going to build your plan to overcome what the problem is.
Yes, exactly.
And that is what we need from every employee, every government official, everyone. And we the people need to stand up and find our gifts and utilize our gifts to make a difference. And no gift is not important, and everyone matters, and everyone can do something, whether it's sharing something. I'm going to share this again. 2020, April 2020, I woke up, I shut down my business a week before the governor asked me to shut down my business. I believed everything, I'm a mama bear. Yeah. I'm like, I need to protect my people, everyone. I'm like, go home. Don't spend any money. I don't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden it starts unfolding. So it's not like I didn't believe, and I know something was released, and there is long COVID. But when things like ivermectin was kept from us in the truth, that is what I have a problem with. And I will not back down, and I appreciate you being here and seeing what's really happening at the borders, because it's insanity.
Yeah, it is.
And we need to, stand up, not be afraid. Yes, I've been called every name in the book. I don't care. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Whatever, it's just, this is awful. We got to stand up and do what's right. And you had a segment, Senator Kevin Avard, a great senator. He has a fundraiser, is it 4th? Or is it May 4th? I'm going to put that on my Facebook. He's an amazing senator. He actually...
yes, May 4th. Sorry.
He was at St. Peter's Orphanage. So he was a Manchester kid, and he is a great guy, a family guy. He is standing up and doing what's right. And he even says on his show, anyone is welcome onto my show.
Yeah.
So, that is what I call a great American candidate and elected official and good human being is willing to
leader.
listen to everyone, is a leader.
Yeah, it's a real
you
leader.
know, a real leader.
Right.
So I'm definitely going to be at his fundraiser
Yeah, I
and
am too.
support him, and you are too. And what can we say? I mean, it's just, to me, I get a little overwhelmed, and I know that I have to turn off the fake news, you know, but then you need to know the highlights, and we need to highlight the people that are boots on the ground making a difference. Paul Merrick, Dr. Paul Merrick is a pulmonologist, drove up from Virginia, okay? I don't know if it was 2021. I drove up and testified that ivermectin will save lives. Yeah. I mean, this is like horrible that now the FDA is going to eat their words, you know? So I know I'm like health freedom. I'm about American freedom. I'm about, you know, freedom of choice, you know?
Of course.
You know?
I agree.
So what else can you share, you know, to inspire someone and to maybe help your cause? And where can we find you? And, you know, what can we do? What else can we do? I know we only have a few minutes to wrap up, but,
Yeah.
you know, what's important that you need to share with our audience? And hopefully we're going to share it. And please share these videos, you know. It takes a lot of guts to come out, you know. You're a target when you come out, but you know what? When we come out together, we come out stronger. And we're shining a bright light on the darkness, and that is what needs to prevail, is our bright light of goodness for everyone, for everyone's freedom, you know?
I agree. Yeah, and I mean, when it comes to what we're doing, we just need the participation of the people to kind of, just like law enforcement. We're not law enforcement, it's the same idea. We just need your support in making sure that we can do what we're trying to do. And that could be many different things, but it's saying, yeah, me personally, you at home, I want to see a change, and that starts a ripple effect that will benefit us too later, you know. And that's like the biggest takeaway is, what can I do now to make my community better? Whether it's as small as picking a piece of trash up,
yeah,
or helping out your neighbor, because it's countering all the negativity that's been just tsunamied over everything.
That's it. We need to pick up the trash and we need to take out the trash.
Yeah.
That is what I say.
Seriously.
And we need strong borders. We need kindness and love and respect, you know. I know we have a little bit more time. What else do you want to share about, you know, your life and
I love New Hampshire. Yeah, I mean, seriously,
5 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's not long, but I remember I'm from the beach in California, so.
Wow.
Yeah,
but you have the beach here, you have the mountains.
I haven't even been, I've been to the beach twice, honestly,
Okay.
because there's no waves. I mean, so it's not as enticing, but
yeah.
I know I love the environment here, and it's something that California, I was younger, I didn't realize what was going on fully, so I kind of just said, I got to get away. But here I go, this is insane. I know what's coming. I've lived this. We've seen it happen for 20 years. So 20 years of seeing the beta test of these kind of, you know, the progressive ideas. They incrementally chip you away, and they go, oh, nothing's going on. Go back.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, here's a couple little crackers to keep you busy, and then they just move forward. And seeing that, I start to see it here, but I see a lot of pushback. And there's like a line sort of that it's like sometimes they try to cross it and then they run right back, so it's good. And that's what's kind of really gotten me to become involved. And I enjoy it. There's a lot of great people out there that I've met so many good people, and I'm so happy. It invigorates me to want to, you know, continue, because it's not easy. There's a lot of unknowns, but you know, that's the beauty of a project or doing something that hasn't been done or is rarely done. You get to step out and kind of, you know, hack your way through the forest, so to say.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So where can we find you?
I don't really have a website.
Okay.
I'm kind of lacking on that side, but if you wanna check out trackasystems.com, they have kind of an intro to all of the gear that we used on the southern border, and a feel for it. And then if you want to also look at Anthony Aguero, Aguero for Texas, he's on the southern side, but a lot of what he does every day is what we did on the southern border, and something that we're trying to incorporate in a way up on our side. And it gives you a feel for it. And all he does is he live streams his day on the border as a reporter. So if you want to see the in-depth stuff, go through his stuff, because it'll give you a very detailed idea of what's going on.
Because every life matters, and how people are being treated. And I know people want to come here for, a better life, but, I ran into a fellow business owner, and he's an immigrant, and he's like, we came here because we love America, but what we're seeing is not okay. And they've been afraid to speak up, but they are speaking up. They are speaking up, and they are done as well. And you know what? When people are using people, human trafficking.
Slavery, really.
Slavery, unacceptable.
Oh,
This is, as far as I'm concerned, jail time. We need law and order. We need caring hearts. And I think it's really hard because some of the government officials, they're allowing this because of the policies.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Policies. These policies are not working for any human at all.
No,
do you agree?
I do. And the last thing I'll say, too, just so you have an idea of a figure, is that fiscal year 2023, there were 736, if I got that right, KSTs are known or suspected terrorists. And out of those reported, at least, 66%, it's like 485, I think. 485 came through the northern border. So to leave you with, the idea is that the southern border is the bread and pony show, or was it, I got that backwards, but it's the circus that you all look at. And then on the northern side is there's the real infiltration. And you start to see infrastructure being attacked already. The barges being dislodged from their moorings on the Ohio River. I don't think the dolly running into the Key Bridge was necessarily that, but the idea is our infrastructure is already taking a hit. And where does it go? And with those numbers on the increase is what I'll leave you with.
Thank you so much for spending time with me, Michael, and sharing the truth and nothing but the whole truth. And we are going to heal our nation, our city, with the truth, love, and kindness, and respect for all. Let's start saving lives and speaking up. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Oh, my God. Yeah.